Hi guys, it's KJM and I'm back with another Countdown to Christmas movie review. One that I want to handle with such care. Last night at 8 p.m. Eastern, Christmas on Cherry Lane premiered with an all-star cast of James Denton playing Nelson, Catherine Bell playing Regina, Erin Cahill playing Lizzie Hamilton, John Brotherton playing John Hamilton, Vincent Rodriguez III playing Zian, aka Sam, and Jonathan Bennett playing Mike. All right, guys, I am giving Christmas on Cherry Lane a 9 out of 10. I thought that this movie was showcased family, Christmas time, friendships, and it was just beautifully interwoven. Now, let me just tell you this. We're in 3 different time periods, 3 different families are living at 7 Cherry Lane. We start off in 1973 with Lizzie Hamilton, played by Erin Cahill, and John Brotherton playing John Hamilton. And they are the first family that we're watching living at 7 Cherry Lane. Lizzie is pregnant. It's Christmas Eve. She's doing about 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, her family, the Sawyers, show up. Her mother, father, brother, sister-in-law, little nephew, and then her pregnant sister and brother-in-law also show up uninvited, even though Lizzie and John had just moved into 7 Cherry Lane the day before. Her entire family decides they're going to spend Christmas, and not only are they going to spend Christmas at 7 Cherry Lane, they're actually going to stay there too. Nobody even booked a hotel. I was kind of surprised that the Sawyers would do this, but some families are like that. John has a body shop / gas station that's currently in some financial troubles, as some of the other gas station owners are raising their prices, but John hasn't. He isn't making a profit off of the gas, but a lot of people think that he is, so they're angry at him. And we find that his body shop / gas station gets someone breaks into it, and we're not quite sure why, but they didn't steal anything, right? So now when John goes to his body shop and there's a cop there, we now realize that that cop would have been Regina's husband, played by Catherine Bell. Regina's husband, who also has a wife that's pregnant. Turns out Regina is pregnant with who we would now know to be Conrad, her first child, and she also gives birth to Winnie. That same cop, Greg, goes over to Lizzie and John Hamilton's house, and he helps Lizzie give birth. Ultimately, once Lizzie gives birth, the Hamiltons promise Greg that if they ever leave 7 Cherry Lane, he will always be family, and they'll even give him the house. They actually do end up giving John the house, and even though he passes away in 1999, we see his widow, Regina, and his children, Conrad and Winnie, visiting for their very last Christmas at 7 Cherry Lane. Turns out Regina is now engaged to Nelson, played by James Denton. They're engaged after knowing each other for 1 year, and they're going to retire and move to Florida. Winnie and Conrad are not happy to hear of all these changes. They grew up in this house. Turns out they moved into 7 Cherry Lane when Winnie was 3 years old. So I am guessing the original Hamiltons that lived in 7 Cherry Lane, they didn't stay there for more than about 3 years, because Lizzie and Regina were actually pregnant at the same time. It's just that Lizzie gave birth a couple months before Regina did. So now Winnie and Conrad, they're not excited about the change. We find out that Greg, the police officer, their dad, has passed away. And we see that Conrad is driving the car that Uncle Ham, aka John Hamilton, gave to him. And so we already see how 2 of the families are intertwined. Now enters Zian and Mike. They live at 7 Cherry Lane in 2023. Turns out Winnie becomes a famous singer, and she knows Mike. So when 7 Cherry Lane came up on the market, she tells Mike to go and buy the house. So now we see how the three families are connected. They're connected in friendship and family. And then there's the neighbor, Daisy. She's met all three families that lived at 7 Cherry Lane. Daisy was a teenager when Lizzie's family was caroling outside of her house on Cherry Lane. Then Daisy was a mom that was welcoming, that was helping Regina transition into selling Cherry Lane and then moving to Florida. So she's that good friend to Regina. And then we see that she's still providing support to Zion and Mike when they finally get approved to be foster parents on Christmas Eve. And they are going to have a daughter, a 6-year-old daughter. Okay, so much is going on, and I think so far I'm getting all the names right. What do you need to know about Christmas on Cherry Lane? It is about family. It's about friendship. It's about Christmas. And honestly, it shows how Lizzie and John give birth to Ivy on 7 Cherry Lane. Ivy ends up being the foster mom for Zion when his family dies when he's about 4. He had immigrated from the Philippines. His parents died when he was about 4 and he was in the foster system. He had a permanent home he was going to, but that home could not take him until after Christmas. So Ivy, Lizzie, and John's daughter actually foster Zion, aka Sam, for Christmas Eve, or one day when they are living near Cherry Lane. Now we see that Zion has grown up and he is married to Mike. And now they find out they're going to be foster parents on Christmas Eve. There's so much going on here. I'm going to tell you this. Christmas on Cherry Lane is not the type of movie where you want to just have it in the background and you're not paying attention. You're dealing with 1973, you're dealing with 1999, and then you're dealing with 2023. And you're seeing 3 families come into this home and have to make some big decisions. You see Lizzie give birth at 7 Cherry Lane. You see Regina get engaged and have her very final Christmas at 7 Cherry Lane before her and her new fiance Nelson retire to Florida. You see Mike and Zian remodeling number 7 Cherry Lane and getting ready to have 14 guests for a Christmas Eve dinner along with their brand new daughter. This movie was spectacular. It was great. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Definitely it's a type of movie you want to pay attention to. Megan also got a chance to watch it and she said it was so good. She said the beginning of this movie was giving her a This Is Us feeling, and definitely this movie was beautifully done. This movie has made me a huge Jonathan Bennett fan. I thought it was so funny that that he's a chef and his character Mike actually is calmed when he is hearing, when he's singing Christmas carols. So we see Zian trying to help Mike de-stress as they try to prepare for their new daughter coming home, but they're still having remodeling done in the kitchen, and their contractor Quinn is working up to the last hour of Christmas Eve to get their kitchen ready. And I just thought Jonathan Bennett's timing, his comedic timing was beautiful, and it really matched Vincent Rodriguez's sincerity in wanting to be a family and to show love and support his partner. Love is love, people. If you did not watch this movie because there is a gay couple, get over yourself. Because I'm here to tell you that Mike and Zian's story was the most beautiful. Because without their story, you could not tie in Lizzie and John. You could not tie in Regina and Nelson. You could not tie in Daisy, Winnie, and Conrad, and this beautiful all-star cast. Okay, what else can I say about Christmas on Cherry Lane? Watch this movie. This is how Christmas is done, Hallmark. I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10 once again. Shout out to the entire cast, and I'm going to try to say their names again. James Denton, Catherine Bell, so good to see you back at Hallmark. Erin Cahill, Jonathan Brotherton, Vincent Rodriguez III, and Jonathan Bennett. And the whole entire cast, the writing, the acting, and everybody else I didn't name. Baby, this is Christmas. All right, it's KJM. I will see you guys back for another Countdown to Christmas review. coming up maybe in the next 24 to 48 hours. Guys, we are almost at the end of this journey and it has been spectacular. Thank you for choosing me to be the person that you tune into my reviews. Shout out to Christmas on Cherry Lane, and I'm going to watch and keep watching through the Christmas season.